What if your next burger didn't come from a cow, but from a lab? And what if your salad was grown in a skyscraper instead of a field? Sounds like science fiction, right? But the future of food is here, and it's nothing like you expect. Today, we're diving into the revolutionary world of lab-grown meat and vertical farming, two groundbreaking technologies that could reshape how we feed the planet. Imagine a world where meat doesn't require raising animals, where vegetables grow year-round inside skyscrapers, and where farming becomes safer, cleaner, and more sustainable. This isn't just a futuristic dream. It's happening right now, with real-world companies, investors, and researchers driving an agricultural revolution. Traditional farming has been the backbone of human civilization for thousands of years. For centuries, people have depended on soil, sunlight, and rain to grow food. But our planet is showing signs that conventional agriculture is reaching its limits. Livestock occupies nearly 77% of global agricultural land, but provides only 18% of the calories consumed by humans. Agriculture accounts for roughly 70% of global freshwater use, and livestock alone contributes around 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than all cars, trucks, and airplanes combined. Urbanization is reducing arable land, fields are shrinking, and soil degradation is worsening. Meanwhile, the global population is expected to reach 10 billion by 2050, further increasing the demand for food. Clearly, if we want to feed a growing population, something has to change. Enter lab-grown meat, also called cultured meat or cell-based meat. Instead of raising and slaughtering animals, scientists take a small sample of animal cells and cultivate them in a controlled environment. The result is real meat that is biologically identical to conventional meat, but doesn't require a cow, pig, or chicken. Lab-grown meat is not just a novelty. It represents a solution to several pressing global challenges. First, the environmental impact. Lab-grown meat could reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 96% compared to conventional beef. It uses 99% less land and 82% less water. That means fewer forests are cleared for grazing, less water is drawn from rivers and aquifers, and fewer methane emissions are released into the atmosphere. Second, food security. Meat can be produced closer to cities, reducing transportation needs. Production is scalable and predictable, no longer dependent on droughts, feed shortages, or disease outbreaks like avian flu or mad cow disease. Third, health. Cultured meat can be engineered to contain less saturated fat and no antibiotics, making it a healthier alternative. There's even the potential to enrich lab-grown meat with nutrients, like omega-3 fatty acids, which could have additional benefits for human health. The market potential is enormous. The cultured meat market is projected to grow from $862 million in 2025 to over $36 billion by 2034, a staggering compound annual growth rate of 51%. In the United States, 38% of consumers are aware of lab-grown meat, and 23% recognize the term cultivated meat. Awareness and acceptance are growing rapidly. Technological advances are also moving quickly. Scientists have successfully grown nugget-sized chicken chunks using bioreactors that mimic the circulatory system, overcoming a major production challenge. Labs are now developing more complex cuts, like steaks and burgers, using scaffolding techniques that allow muscle fibers to form in realistic textures. Every year, production costs drop, making lab-grown meat more competitive with traditional meat. If lab-grown meat is the future of protein, vertical farming is the future of plants. Instead of sprawling fields, vertical farms grow crops in stacked layers inside buildings using fully controlled environments. Hydroponics, aeroponics, and aquaponics allow plants to grow up to 10 times faster than in traditional soil, using up to 95% less water. Vertical farms can be built directly inside cities, cutting down on transportation emissions and providing fresh, local produce year-round. They don't rely on unpredictable weather, reducing the risk of crop failures. And because the environments are controlled, No pesticides or herbicides are needed. Lighting, temperature, and nutrients can all be optimized for maximum growth and nutrition. The market outlook is impressive. The global vertical farming market is expected to grow from $8.5 billion in 2025 to $50 billion by 2032, a compound annual growth rate of 28%. Indoor vertical farming systems alone could exceed $12.5 billion globally by 2025, with North America, Europe, and Asia-Pacific leading adoption. Leading companies are demonstrating the potential. Planet Farms in Italy operates large-scale vertical farms focusing on pesticide-free, sustainable produce. In the United States, Plenty grows leafy greens in high-tech towers, using AI and robotics to monitor growth, optimize water and nutrient use, and predict harvest times. These farms are more efficient, more sustainable, and more resilient than conventional fields. Now imagine a city where meat and vegetables are grown locally, without massive farms or slaughterhouses. Restaurants and supermarkets could source fresh, local, sustainable meat and produce every day. Urban farms could supply entire neighborhoods, reducing transportation, food waste, and carbon footprints. Pilot programs in Singapore, Tokyo, New York, and Amsterdam are already demonstrating that urban farms and cultured meat labs can operate at scale. Of course, no revolution comes without challenges. Early lab-grown meat was extremely expensive, over $300 per burger in 2013. Prices are dropping rapidly, but still need to compete with conventional meat. Regulatory approval is a complex hurdle. Some U.S. states, like Texas and Mississippi, have banned lab-grown meat sales. Approval processes, labeling standards, and public acceptance are still evolving. Consumer acceptance is another challenge. Some people hesitate to eat lab-grown meat due to unfamiliarity. Marketing, education, and transparency will be crucial to widespread adoption. Vertical farms also rely heavily on electricity for lights and climate control, meaning that clean energy integration is critical for true sustainability. Despite these challenges, momentum is undeniable. Lab-grown meat could become mainstream within the next decade, and vertical farms will proliferate in cities worldwide. Together, these technologies could dramatically reduce emissions, conserve water, and provide fresh, nutritious food year-round. Experts predict that within our lifetime, traditional farming could be replaced in many areas by lab-grown meat facilities and vertical farms. This is not just a dream, it's an inevitable shift. Picture walking into a grocery store and seeing meat from a lab, leafy greens from a vertical farm, all grown locally and sustainably. Imagine restaurants serving dishes where every ingredient is fresh, environmentally friendly, and healthy. A future where food is cleaner, safer, and kinder to the planet is not a fantasy. It is becoming reality. The future of food isn't far away. It's here. Lab-grown meat and vertical farming represent a paradigm shift that could solve global hunger, combat climate change, and revolutionize what's on our plates. The next time you bite into a burger or pick up a head of lettuce, ask yourself, was this grown in a field or in a skyscraper? Was this meat raised on a farm or cultivated in a lab? The answer might surprise you, and it will define the future of food.